Well, a wild chase through Ravenna this weekend had police officers scrambling.
Gabby Hart takes a closer look at the daring dash cam footage and tells us how a Kent State employee was in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, this all started when a sharp-eyed Kent State employee spotted something fishy. A university utility vehicle just cruising around town where it definitely should not be. So she flagged down an officer, and well, that is when this situation escalated quickly. On Saturday, this Kent State maintenance vehicle led officers on a low-speed pursuit through yards, sidewalks, and even a bike trail. Police say the driver, Alan DeLuhos, even blew through stop signs, drove on the wrong side of the road, and at one point narrowly missed a couple of kids. And when police finally did corner him, he bumped a cruiser trying to escape. And when officers were finally able to box him in and pull him out of that UTV, they asked him about this bizarre joyride. And they say he told them that he was asked to test the brakes on the UTV, and they didn't work. Well, that suspect now facing a slew of charges, including fleeing and eluding. As far as that Kent State vehicle goes, police are still trying to figure out if it was stolen or not, but it is back where it belongs, safe and sound. We'll keep you up to date on this story and all of the developments right here and on Cleveland19.com.